Hey guys, JJ here from Rounds Equipment Company and Weldco JCB, and today we're going over the interior controls of the JCB 437 wheel loader. So, starting over here on this left-hand wand, you've got on the end you got this little spin dial here, so you're shifting between first, second, third, and fourth gear or automatic. And then in addition to that, you also have over here, this one lit up right here, automatic. So with that off, and even with your wand selected to auto, here's your parking brake. Just turn it off. You gotta push that button in and then pull the lever down or the toggle switch there. And then up here on the dash, you can see we're in for neutral. So you got two ways of changing between forward and reverse on this machine. Brake pedal here, obviously you can see down there on my foot. Brake on. On your left hand wand, you have your traditional back is reverse, and towards the forward, towards the front is forward. So you can change gear there, or you can change gear on the bottom side of the joystick. Let's see if I can show you here. On the bottom side of the joystick, there it is. You've got a toggle switch, 3 position. So forward is going to put the machine in forward. Middle position is neutral. Back position is reverse. So you can shift the machine in either of those two fashions, either left-hand wand slash what some people call the left-hand reverser, or on the bottom side of the right joystick. So that's how you go from forward to reverse. As you can see with auto here, when we shift into forward, most of the time it's going to start you out in second gear, and then it'll work your way up as you're giving it more and more fuel and as the machine speed increases. If you have it in first gear, then it will stay in first gear and just won't shift out of it. So that's what you got going on as far as your left-hand reverser. On the end of it, you do have a transmission kick down button. So if you hit that one time, it'll kick the transmission down a gear. So you also have a similar feature over here on this joystick. This one, if you press it once, it'll automatically go down to first gear. If you double press it, it'll just go down one gear from where you're at. So if you're in fourth and you double press it, it'll go to third. Double press it again, it'll go to second. And then if you hit it one more time, just once, after you've been downshifting, it'll go back to the gear that you started in. Let's see here. On your right hand wand, you've got all your front windshield wiper settings. You also have a horn on the end of the wand, so you just press that in. That's your horn. This little collar here, you're gonna push into, and then that'll run the squirter for the front windshield. So that's how that works. You've also got your turn signals on here. So there you have it. Let's see here. Obviously, lots of venting for both AC and heat. Yeah. And then working our way over here to this A-pillar of sorts. Starting up top, you can see you've got a rear view camera as well as a screen. This screen is awesome. That'll show you all the different buttons on your pillar and what they do. That's a really cool feature. And then you can also scroll through all your settings. You can see all your different temperature readings. So a lot done on this screen, but you can see left half of the screen is kind of hard to see with all the snow today, but it is a backup camera. So, and then up top here, you've got all your HVAC settings. And then your radio, of course. And you got that. You've got a window on the what would be your passenger side if you're in a a vehicle. Let's see. First setting, just a little crack. Second setting, all these different predetermined settings, and that is all the way open. So you can communicate with somebody outside, or just get fresh air if it's not hot enough to run the AC and you just want a little fresh air. They do give you this little tool here in the back to break the window. This is your emergency exit. If you were to roll the machine, which you don't do that obviously, but if you roll the machine and ended up with the door side down and you can't get out the door, then this window becomes your exit, and you'll use that little tool right there to break the glass. You got the operator's manual out there, which you can see. You got a spot for your phone or whatever. You got a deep pocket down in there, remote down there for the radio, as well as a case for the faceplate on the radio if you wanted to take it off if you're afraid it's going to get stolen. Another mat up front. Let's see here. On your seat here, this one does have a deluxe seat. I'll show that at the end because it's easier to do from like the platform outside looking in. So we'll go over that at the end there. Starting over here, you do have hazards, and it'll show you on the dash that they're on, top left there, flashing. You do have power mirrors. These are going to be for the exterior mirrors on the machine. You can see you also have interior rear view mirror, so you can see really well behind you, especially when you add in the fact that it's got the rear view camera there. So I mean, in general, the visibility once again from JCB is phenomenal. There's almost zero obstruction on the what would be the driver's side. You have a small pillar here. You've got your door, everything's glass, seamless, well, not seamless, but pillarless transition from kind of your side of your front windshield to the main front piece of glass, and then once again just a small seam but no pillar to go to the right hand side of the front windshield. And you've got a small pillar with all of your different controls on it, side window and rear window. So really big spacious cabin here, plenty of room, really comfortable seat. Again, we'll go over the seat at the end, but just one of those things. And one of the things that, when I first started selling these, I wasn't 100% sure if this was a JCB only feature, but from everything I've seen, the loaders that I've ran across, it does appear that this is a JCB feature. They're kind of set it and forget it feature on their steering wheel. So sometimes I forget how handy that is until we'll get a used loader traded in, and you basically have to kind of undo the memorization of the steering wheel, as far as where you want it set while you're operating the machine, in order to fold it up out of the way so you can get comfortably in and out of the operator's seat. So, I mean, basically you're using this black handle underneath here. You pull that, and then you'll pull the steering wheel down, and it goes to your predetermined setting of where you want that steering wheel when you're operating the machine. And you can change that setting with this lever right over here. Sorry, trying to film it and reach it there. Gosh. There we go. So you pull that up like that, and now you can telescope in and out, or you can tilt it up and down. You get it where you want it. That feels. And big thing is making sure that you can see, your instrument panel in front, in the setting that you have it in, so that your steering wheel isn't blocking your field of vision there. And then once you've got it where you want it, you're just going to push that lever back down like so, and now that's your predetermined position. And then when you go to get out of the machine, you just pull that, the whole thing folds up and out of the way, so that you can a lot easier get in and out without having to squeeze underneath the steering wheel, which I realize for some people isn't going to be a problem, but I'm a bigger guy and it's kind of a pain in the butt. So that setting for me, I like a lot. So there's that. And now kind of what I was talking about earlier, as far as the different control buttons here, obviously these first 6 buttons at the top are all going to be lights. But the really cool thing that I wanted to show you is if you've got your parking brake set, this little question mark right here illuminates. You just saw it happen. If you push that question mark, and then up here on your screen, on the A-pillar here, it's going to bring up all your different buttons. You can see the first one it picks is the first button there. And then you'll use your pinwheel down here, I call it. That's probably not the correct term, but I call it a pinwheel. It's definitely not, but oh well. And then you're going to push in on it to select whatever one you have lit up. And again, we were on this top left button right there was the picture. And so it tells you that's your road lights. Pressing the road light button turns on the machine's front and rear road lights. I mean, you guys can read that. And it tells you what that button will do each time you push it, what it's going to do. And then you'll go back down here to, again, what I call the pinwheel. Turn it to the right, and if there were more there, you could read the further description. There's a couple of them that have a little bit longer description. So, and then to get back out, you've got a couple options. You can either push the button here to go back out, or you can push the button here. And then let's go to a little bit more complicated one here. All right, so I've scrolled over using my little pinwheel to the Eco. You can see here, Eco is right here towards the bottom, right there. So what that button does, again, I'm gonna push in on the pinwheel. It's gonna tell me what it does. And you can see over here on the right-hand side, sorry, again, I wish, I've got all this snow, which makes it really bright in the cab and kind of hard to see in a video, but you see this little yellow line over here? That's kind of telling you that you're at the top of this page. There's another part of it telling you more about this button. So again, you go down to the pinwheel, turn it one click to the right, and it brings up the rest of the description that you couldn't see before. So that's how you scroll down in there. So it'll go through every button on this A-pillar, all your different options and controls, and tell you what every single one of them does. Even if you don't have the particular feature, like you can see right here that this button is not lit up. This is going to be a tow hook. It's kind of what it's a picture of. It's really hard to see when it's not lit up, but that's what it is. And if you had auxiliary hydraulics on the back, that's where you would turn those on. So when you're towing something that takes hydraulics, you would run it right there. So you can see that kind of gives you an idea. Then I don't need to go through every switch and what it does, because you guys now have access to that by just pushing that little question mark there. So there's also, you can see next to it is a little picture of a book. So you pull that up, it'll pull up this screen here, and you can use these. So we'll select, right now it's on number 9. We select it again, it'll tell you, it's telling you about the DEF fluid right there. And so it's kind of got just a few different, 9 to be specific, different options. Number 1 is going to be tire pressure. Sorry, the tablet's getting ready to die here, so I'll try to wrap this up quickly. Number 1 is going to be like, you can click on number 1 and it'll bring up the different tire sizes and tell you what your tire pressure should be set to. So just kind of your daily check type of deals, and just good information about the machine as far as maintaining it and make sure everything's working the way that it should. So, and then again, you can push home up here. That'll take you back to your main screen. You can cycle through all the different screens and different options, different displays. So, super nice machine. Yeah. So let's say you had a question about, okay, how do I use the return to dig feature? I'll show you real quick. So you can see right now I have the return to dig feature on. So if let's say that we're determined, I don't have a bucket on here at the moment, but let's say, for example, that's where my bucket is flat on the ground, and you'll be able to tell when you do get a bucket. You can adjust your, see this little rod over here? You can see it kind of going in and out right there. Let me get my finger here on the screen for you. This rod right here, okay, and that little flange that goes around that rod. When you get your bucket or pallet forks or whatever you're using the loader for, and you put it on there, you'll be able to set that to where you know, okay, when my rod is flush with the top of that bracket, my bucket is flat on the ground. And so you'll get it set just there the way that you want it. Again, right now the machine isn't set up because I shipped it without a bucket, so just make do and pretend along here with me. It's pretend time. So you'll put it down, okay, my bucket is flat right there. And so I go, I scoop my pile, boom, I'm bringing it up, I'm gonna dump it in this truck right here. Again, the truck's not there, we're pretending. This is pretend time. I dump it. Oh, boop, dumped it in, okay. Pull it back, I back up, and while I'm backing up and going back forward, pulling back up to my pile to get another scoop, with that return to dig feature on, I'm gonna take this joystick, I'm gonna pull it inside towards me, which would normally, curl your bucket back, and then I'm gonna, there's kind of two settings here. It's almost like driving like a semi-transmission where you have those soft walls to go from over to first gear, and you push it through the soft wall to the hard wall and go forward, and that'll put you in reverse. This is kind of the same thing. It's got like a soft wall, and then if you keep going, it's got a detent, so it'll actually hold it there. And at the same time, I'm going to shove it forward. So I'm coming over and forward, almost like you're going into first gear in a semi. And if you haven't driven a semi, you won't understand that reference, but that's what's kind of happening here. And what that's going to do is it's going to take my loader and it's going to drop it back down to where I initially took that first scoop. So that's why they call it return to dig, because it's taking your loader, it's going to take both the angle of the bucket and it's going to take the height of the loader arms and put them back to where you initially started digging on your first dig. So I'll keep the camera on the loader and I'll show you on the joystick here. I'm not going to show you the joystick, but I'm running the joystick, just doing exactly what I told you. I'm coming over and going up, and it'll lock into position there. And then, sometimes you miss, especially when you're a newbie like me. But we do one-take videos here, so there's no editing or fixing it. If I look like an idiot, I look like an idiot, and that's the way it is. So, let's see if I can do it this time. Still a noob here, guys. Hang in there with me. There's something right here. There it is. Sorry, it's hard to show. Coming back. I'm doing another scoop. There it is. I'm not on the joystick, and it goes down to where it was for your first scoop. So I'm making a scoop. Boom, done. I dumped it. I'm coming back. Boom. Right there. Goes right back to the position. And you see, once I hit this, it's locked in there. Boom. Now it's back. So that's your return to dig. Very common for anyone doing a lot of loader work. So, yep. And then up here on the window, you can see that they do give you the controls here, essentially, of what the buttons on the joystick are doing. So that's going to be what you got going on there as far as your joystick and your different controls. Real quick, I'll show you the seat, hopefully before this dies. And then I've got it parked here next to a 3/4 ton GMC, so you can kind of see the size of it. Alright, so on your seat, on the bottom side of your armrest, this is going to make your armrest go up and down so that you can match it with the height of the other one, or you know, offset them, or whatever you want to do. That's how you're going to control the height of this armrest. Behind that, you can see you've got your heated seat button right there, on and off. That's going to be how you tilt the back of the seat. I'm sorry, that's your lumbar support. Right here is going to be how you tilt the back of the seat. You can see they give you a 12-volt power point there. And then I believe, yep, you got, can you see those? Yep, you got a couple there, as well as an aux input for your phone that you can play through the radio. You have, real quick, microphone. There it is. Microphone right there. So you use Bluetooth for your phone through the radio. You got forward and back adjustments right there on your seat. You've got seat height, as well as, you know, power features for sliding. You can change all your different things. You got air seat here, so you can really customize it, make it super comfortable, especially if you're going to be spending a lot of time in these things. You know, potentially pretty much all day, depending on what you're using it for. Alright, real quick, outside things that make JCB a little bit different. A lot of your loaders are going to have your steering cylinders down here at the bottom next to your drive shaft. JCB moves them up out of the way, and not as likely to get damaged when they're up here. You can also see we've got a fully boxed frame there. A lot of your loaders won't have that. They'll just have like a single, not a box, just like a single sheet of metal as part of the frame instead of the box frame. So here you can see, sorry, it's icy out here. Here you can see the 437 versus GMC 3/4 ton pickup. The size difference, I mean, it's a good size loader. It's not small, it's not gigantic, but it's a good size loader for sure. Yeah. So that's your JCB 437, guys. Thanks for watching. It does have a power rear hood, of course. Pretty much all your loaders in this size category will. So it does have that. The radiator pack you can separate to clean them out, and then the rear fan you can swing out to clean out as well. There you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, JJ here with Rollins Equipment Company, and today we're in the JCB 437 wheel loader. I'm going to go over the interior controls here with you.